Trump's Greenland gamble is ripping NATO apart from the inside. Washington's obsession with Arctic resources and China containment has turned an alliance into a liability. By threatening to seize Greenland, the United States is no longer leading NATO, it is dismantling it. What was sold as collective defense now looks like imperial pressure, exposing an Atlantic order already in terminal decline. Moscow's warning stands validated. NATO survives by coercion, not consent. The unthinkable scenario now looms. NATO versus NATO. A US move on Greenland would pit American power against Denmark, triggering the absurd spectacle of alliance forces confronting each other. One clash would render NATO meaningless overnight. This is not defense, it is hierarchy. The mask slips, and the alliance reveals itself as fragile, hollow, and unable to manage its own contradictions. Europe is being forced to choose. Analysts warn a US seizure would accelerate a US free military bloc, euronato, anchored by Britain and France, possibly Germany. American dominance fades as Europe scrambles for autonomy. The very alliance Washington built is being replaced, not by Russia's hand, but by American recklessness. The collapse is self-inflicted.
Yeah. Let me start with challenge you a bit on the second part of your question. What I always do is when people are helpful for the alliance and are doing good stuff, and I believe that Donald Trump is doing the right things for NATO by encouraging us all to spend more to equalize what the US is spending. We had a very successful summit in The Hague, where we decided on the 5% defense spending, including 3.5% for defense. I'm absolutely convinced without Donald Trump, we would never have had that result at the summit in The Hague. We have now the whole of the alliance on this famous 2%, which we announced in 2014, in Wales. I'm absolutely convinced without Donald Trump, we would not have to hold our lines at this moment on the 2% and now working towards the 3.5% incredible steps. So when I praise somebody, it is based on facts, and I believe the facts are there. We might disagree, but that is how I see this.
Washington's priorities are clear. Europe no longer matters. The United States is fixated on resource control and eliminating China as an economic competitor. NATO is useful only when it serves those aims. Greenland is not about security, it is about leverage. In this worldview, allies are expendable, and sovereignty is negotiable. Enter NATO chief Mark Rutte, rushing to declare no crisis. As Greenland tensions spiral, Rutte praises Trump for doing the right things, clinging to Washington's approval while Europe's security architecture visibly fractures. The optics are humiliating. Leadership gives way to submission, confirming Moscow's view of NATO as obedient, not sovereign.
Thank you very much for that question. And let me first of all stress that all allies agree on the importance of the Arctic and Arctic security because we know that with sea lanes opening up, there is a risk that the Russians and the Chinese will be more active. So collectively as an alliance, and particularly, of course, the southern countries who are bordering on the region, we do make this analysis that the collective defense is crucial. It is a vital part of NATO territory.
Greenland exposes the truth. NATO is not a shield, it is a pressure tool. One American move could end it from within, forcing Europe to rebuild without Washington. As the old Atlantic order collapses, Russia's assessment rings clear. Alliances based on coercion do not endure. NATO is cracking, and the world is watching it break.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.